Well, everybody, I'm here with my client, Mike, who is one of my absolute favorites. I adore him, and he is doing the body transformation program right now. And I'm so excited to have him here today just to share a little bit about his experience and some of the successes he's experienced so far and kind of just how it's going. So, welcome, Mike.
Hello, thank you.
Looking very professional in his glasses today.
Thanks.
I we're just gonna kind of talk through how you found this, and I know you obviously you're familiar with the Phoenix Effect. You've been here before, and you're new to this cool body transformation program. So let's just talk a little bit about kind of like what things were like before you decided we should team up. Like, how were things with your health and your fitness, and kind of like what was going on in your world that sort of inspired you to to invest in this, in yourself in this way?
Yeah, I had taken classes at the Phoenix Effect before, and I really loved it. I loved the trainers and the community feel and all of that. So I decided I needed to do more health stuff because it was like the pandemic and the
Yes.
lockdown was like finally ending, and I hadn't like really done a lot of exercising or a lot of being careful with nutrition for a while. I always had great time at the Phoenix Effect. So I reached out just to inquire about their personal training sessions. Myself, I deal with some injuries that I had when I was younger, some knee and shoulder stuff. And I've done some personal training before, but I always end up hurting myself if I try to like really go to the gym and like train really hard. I always injure like one of these prior injuries, and then it takes me out for a few weeks. So I just wanted someone who could help me not only make sure I was doing the form correctly, but kind of just like keep me on track.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, there's so many, like when you have those past injuries, it's just like it's so annoying because you're just like, oh, I like get into a groove and then I lose it, and then you feel like you have to start all over again. And that's why, like, our corrective exercise and the things that we do in terms of like teaching you how to move correctly is so important. And I think something that definitely gets overlooked, because it's like, if you don't learn how to use your body properly in an efficient way, it's like you're just going to keep banging your head against the wall, like injuring the same things over and over and over again. So yes, I think can relate. And so many people I've talked to, it's like similar things. I was talking to another client earlier about like her wrist, and she was like, it's just, I couldn't do planks. And I was just like, is this just my existence? Do I just have to, am I just subject to perpetual injury? And it turns out you're not.
Yeah, honestly, my favorite thing about the whole program is how all encompassing it is, because I don't know, a lot of my previous training was like focusing on like the most amount of weight you could possibly like lift or bench, and then they just like send you home until you like come back. And I didn't know how to like to foam roll or like to use a lacrosse ball. And so much of
Yeah.
what I've been working with Rachel with is that, just like even on the off days when we're not training together, it's like these are what you need to do just to keep your body healthy and like moving correctly, which is great.
Yes, absolutely. Because it's like, even if I train with you 2 hours a week, it's like you're existing in your body like way more than that, obviously. So it's like, yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Having a comprehensive plan and just knowing what's happening outside of your training sessions is so important too, because like there is a lot more that goes on just outside of the time that we spend together, and a lot more that you can maintain and work on that just helps you, I think, get more out of your sessions as well. Like if you're, like we said, if you're taking the time at home to like do your mobility and all of these things, then when we spend time together in our sessions, like it's a lot more efficient because you've done so much. Like you're so good about doing work by yourself, like at home, like you do your homework so that when we do our sessions, like we can really progress and things move really quickly, which I love.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about how, like, I know you're early days still in the program, but like, how has this so far impacted like your body, your health, your mindset? Like, are there any exciting results that you've had so far that you want to share with the people that they can get excited about?
Yeah, I think we make monthly goals, which are exciting. And one of the first things, I just wanted to be able to do a handstand because I thought they looked cool. And I had never
They're
done
very
one before.
cool. They're very
Yeah.
cool.
And it's just like, I don't know, it's some sort of like a feat you can do with your body where you're just like, oh, I couldn't do this before and now I can. And it just makes you feel like stronger and more confident. So we worked on that. I've been doing this about a month, and we got the handstand down, which was really
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah, and I think just especially coming off the pandemic, I work in a creative job. So I do a lot of like gig work, and it's like stop and go, and just having a plan set out of like, these are the days you're going to the gym, this is what you're doing on the off days. It just like gave me something to structure my life around, which was really helpful too.
100%. Like when you have those other areas that can kind of ebb and flow, we can feel very like untethered at times. And so knowing like, yes, like this is my plan, you know, and I know that I'm doing these on these days, and just having like that structure, like you're saying, to base things around, I think really helps. That was the next thing I was going to ask too. Just like, how has it affected like, you know, the other areas of your life? Like feels like, you know, you've been able to make this work and you're still super productive in your work. And I feel like your nutrition too has really improved in a short amount of time as well. Like little things that we've talked about in terms of like, oh, like I'm a stress eater, and just like learning how to cope with that. I just feel like you're picking things up really fast, and you're learning how to make food choices that make you feel better. And it's sort of like, you know, it's just all, like you said before, it's like, it's all encompassing. There's all these different areas where I, as your coach, am seeing you like make massive changes in a really short period of time. So that makes me really excited too.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, the nutrition, I think that's always my hardest piece, is the nutrition. And even I'm a stress eater, emotional eater, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And even in the times we've been working together, there's been like a time or two where like you slip and you like fall off and you don't eat as well. But you're held accountable so often that it's, you can't like if I like, you know, have whatever cake or something, and then the next day I'm like, well, I already had cake, like maybe I'll just go to like
Yeah.
fast food. But then Rachel is texting me being like, how are you doing? And you're like, oh god, fine, I won't go to fast food. So I mean, in a
So
really, a
true.
really good way, like you're so accountable that it kind of helps you make the good decisions for nutrition.
It's so true. And like when we're changing anything in our lives, that the first few weeks and first months of making these changes like feel really hard. And it feels like, oh, if I didn't have this person holding me accountable all the time, like I don't know where it would be. But the good news is, which you will find soon, and I'm sure you'll start to find really soon, that like, you know, the easier, the more that you're doing this, the easier it becomes just to like self-regulate. And that's the whole point of this. It's like, we want to give you the tools that you need in order to eventually be self-sufficient and to just feel really confident about your food choices. And like when the little craving like strikes, you be like, oh, okay, like this is normal. I know how to deal with it, and just kind of give you those tools and things. But yeah, the accountability helps because it is so hard to hold ourselves accountable. Like it's so
Yeah.
hard, you know. And I think that's why in like in so many areas in our lives, it's like whenever we're struggling or feel stuck, like getting coaching is so key. Like I've had tons and tons and tons of coaches over the years, and I know that when you're trying to make these massive changes and basically become a new person, like it feels nearly impossible unless you have like someone in your corner who's like guiding you and supporting you and like showing you the way. So yeah, so you're doing great.
Thanks.
What would you say to like anyone who's watching right now, or someone who might be interested in the program, like any words of wisdom or encouragement, or like if they're like, oh, I don't know, I'm a little afraid, or you know, they're tentative in some way, like what would you say to them?
I would say for me, it's just so helpful to have kind of an all-in-one person you can talk to about
Yeah.
your health. Because I know for me anyway, like I have a good doctor, but it's like it's hard to like talk to your doctor because they're, you know, it's hard to get an appointment that isn't
You
2 weeks
can't
out
just
and
shoot
all
her
of
a
that.
text.
You can't just shoot a text. But like being able to talk to Rachel about nutrition and working out, like there was a time even this past week when I think I had like tweaked my back because I like sit a lot of the day, and just being able to be like, Rachel, how do I do hot or cold on it? Like,
Yeah.
how am I doing that? And also,
Please don't.
yeah, but within the nutrition stuff too, I would always be like, okay, I know I'm supposed to be eating like protein to like gain muscle, but like when do I eat the protein? Like before, after? It's just someone that you can like really build your entire health and fitness life around. So it's been really helpful to me, who's been always wanting to do that, but never like, I've had trainers who've helped me like figure out how to do some form of stuff. And I've talked to nutritional people who can kind of help with saying like, these are the types of food you have to eat. But this has been great for really tying everything together and having someone be there for you and just help you along your way.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's like you can get little piecemeal bits here and there, but it's like the combination of like the fitness, the nutrition, and the mindset, and having something that's like super custom, that's like very specific to you, right? It's like there's endless information out there in the world and on the internet, but it's like what really works for me. And that's really why we designed this program, because we're like, we know that every individual requires different things. We know that a holistic approach is really the best, most effective way to go in terms of like actually changing your health and being able to maintain that change over the long term. So I think that's totally right, and I love that. And I think a lot of people can also appreciate that. It's like, well, there's a lot of information out there, but like, can I just have a one-stop shop person that knows exactly what I need? And like, that's why we designed this. So yeah, anything else? Final words?
No, I haven't told you this yet, but it's been really lovely working with you as a trainer. I feel like other trainers I've had have been really good while I'm in the gym, and they're just kind of like pushing you to like lift the most you can. But you're really excited to like watch me reach my goals. Like it feels like you have like really someone on your side who is like excited for you to get there and excited for you to make the right choices. And that's worth a lot, because I don't want to disappoint you. So it's like, so I end up making better choices because of it. So thank you for all that.
That is so sweet. Oh my God, you're so welcome. And yes, I do get just as excited as you do about things. Like, and I think it's, you know, we don't really get adult cheerleaders in our lives. And that's like my whole thing as a coach. It's like, I'm a very like excited person, and I get really excited when other people meet their goals. And so like you probably feel really rewarded, but like I feel like probably even more rewarded than you, because I am like so excited. But yeah, just watching people transform before your eyes, it's so incredibly rewarding. That's why I do this work. Like that's why I fell in love with fitness, and you are the prime example of all of that.
Good. No pressure.
No pressure. Awesome. Well, Mike, thank you so much for sharing your story. I can't wait to be on your side and your professional cheerleader, and so many more wins to come. And I will talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks.